Tonight, a family mourns as their loved one is gunned down by police. We've got the fallout. Also, what the Defense Force is saying tonight about that recent illegal Haitian sloop landing. And later, it's World Hunger Day, what one local charity is doing to help end the scourge. This is Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News brought to you by Flow Evo, powered by BTC. Flow Evo is here.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Candino Knowles. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with news of the family of that man who was shot and killed by police yesterday. They are tonight calling for answers. The victim was the 8th person shot and killed by police for the year. The matter now in the hands of the coroner to determine who is at fault. Our April Sands spoke with the family today. She joins me now live in studio with the latest. April?
Candino, a travesty. That's what this is. That happened over the weekend. An entire family broken over the death of this 20-year-old young man. But maybe even more interesting here, Candino, is the community's cry for his justice. Just about everyone we spoke to in the area today were infuriated over the police's decision to kill someone who they say was innocently heading to the store on his grandmother's behalf.
No, it is to lose my cousin. The last person I talked to. The last person. And they take him away from me like that.
Emotions are high now in Mason's Addition as family members and residents are demanding answers from police after leaving 20-year-old D'Angelo Evans dead in the street yesterday.
That's all we're asking for, just for closure in this. That's all we want.
Officers were responding to an armed robbery on Burial Ground and East Street yesterday. And according to reports, police proceeded to Sandy Lane off McAuliffe Corner, where they encountered who they believe to be the suspect.
My sister called me, crying. I trying to figure out. I said, what happened? She said, you need to come this way. I said, come this way for what? She said, D. I said, what happened to D? Because we used to call him D for short. So she said the police just shoot up D. Hurry up, come.
Evans was described by most as a good young man, who many knew for his artistry with the Saxons Junkanoo group. According to his family, he was next in line to take over his uncle's shack.
No one in Mason happy right now. It's a sad day for this area. Everybody in this area is sad. This ain't a good day for us right now.
Family members say he was shot by officers 18 times, although police would not confirm when asked, but said he was shot multiple times.
D'Angelo gets sent to the store. D'Angelo brought the wrong item home. My grandaunt sent D'Angelo back. D'Angelo went to go pick up his cousin to go to work. D'Angelo picked up 18 from the police. Never been arrested before in his whole entire life.
And how could he have a gun when he have on a basketball pants?
Where's the gun?
Where's the gun?
They're saying that he out. My cousin ain't that type of person.
My brother ain't that type of person.
Family members aren't the only ones wanting answers. Member of Parliament for Centerville, Reese Chipman, is standing up for his constituents, urging government to show the people that they will be held accountable and transparent.
There are many cases in the United States where young men have been shot by officers. And there's a Department of Justice that produces a full report. Because what this does is it allows a community to heal.
Now, Candino, as you said earlier, it's the 8th police-involved shooting for the year. So it's a discussion that needs to happen. But before news time, we tried to get a hold of officers for a response to the community, but we've been unable to get a comment on the situation. But until then, the family says they'll be heard. In light of things, they're holding a candlelight vigil on the park of Mason's Addition tomorrow evening.
All right. Thanks a lot, April. We will certainly continue to follow this developing story. That's our April Sands reporting for us live tonight. Well, a 23-year-old man was arraigned in the magistrate's court today on allegations that he murdered a man earlier this month. Leander Bell of Rosebud Road, who you're looking at on the screen there, appeared before Deputy Chief Magistrate Sebosla Swain today. It is alleged that he caused the death of Jason Edgecombe back on May 14th. Bell was not asked to plead, and he was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until August 21st, when he is expected to stand trial. The Bahamas Financial Services Union hoping to get representation for scores of RBC employees that remain without benefits and a general contract. This as the union fears a complete pullout of the financial institution that may leave workers vulnerable. Janelle Ferguson has the latest.
Industrial unrest is brewing among RBC employees in the country who remain the only ununionized group of RBC employees in the region. President of the Bahamas Financial Services Union, Teresa Mortimer, believes that RBC executives refuse to come to the table because of the trend of the banks in recent years.
When the punishment comes down, it comes down first to those who are not unionized. Because I can tell you, sitting around the table last week, everybody has a plan for when they go in, how to negotiate, and what they negotiate about. Caribbean trade unions who are affiliates of Uni Finance are demanding that the Royal Bank of Canada workers throughout the Caribbean have the right to union protection in the region.
Now, the union has joined forces with UNA America for support. Regional Secretary Marcio Monzane says the lack of protection for Bahamian workers is a grave disservice to employees as RBC continues to pull out in the Family Islands and consolidate its services into a digital platform.
I think it's a matter of behavior. So the company should respect that, because honestly, when they don't accept the union, they are not respecting the global standards around this issue.
Now, union officials say attempts were made with RBC executives to unionize RBC employees for more than 5 years. And every time employees express interest, they say they're victimized.
Right now, because they're not unionized, anything could happen here. So the other territories, not with any intention, are saying, well, you go to the non-unionized territories, reduce the workforce, reduce your numbers, decrease your costs, and go from there. And that's what we've been trying to do and encourage the workers, but they are very afraid. But what they have to do right now is get angry.
While not speaking directly to unionization, Executive Vice President of RBC, Kirk Deshek, suggested change within the organization, stressing that one must adapt to the technological advances.
But at the same time, we're also investing in the capabilities of people, of our advisors, of our branches, who continue to be at the heart of trusted client relationships. It's not lost on me that change can be hard and uncomfortable. What is even more worrisome is not having the confidence and capabilities to evolve as an economy.
Meanwhile, union members say they will continue to fight for union recognition for RBC employees. Janaea Noel Ferguson, Eyewitness News.
Well, members of the Environmental Alliance have sent a letter to the Prime Minister itemizing the different effects OBAN will have on the country. Re-Earth Executive Director Sam Duncombe is speaking on behalf of the group tonight.
Any major development has to have public consultation. They have to have public meetings, and that's not happening. And that hasn't happened. So, the fact that the EIA is now being done, and they told us it would be ready in a month. Let's be honest. You cannot do a proper environmental impact assessment in a month, especially for something as big and as complicated as an oil refinery. It's just not possible.
Other concerned citizens also shared their thoughts on the possibility of job creation that may come out of this project while still highlighting adverse environmental effects.
Having a few jobs in the immediate present does not bode well when you're going to be destroying the future. And so, I think more haste, less speed, that really is something that you have to look at. I think it was done too quickly without actually taking the time to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. And this has been the result. That's why the society is so up in arms about the whole deal. So, say you're sorry. I think that's the best way to go. Say you're sorry and make it right.
It is our health. It is our issues. And if we don't make a second avenue for ourselves, we're going to always be exactly where we are. Always in the same position, always afraid, always begging, always complaining. And the more we complain, the more they ignore us.
All right, well, despite government's commitment to transform storm-ravaged Ragged Island into a green space, residents say they have not been informed when and if that is still on the drawing board. They expressed their concerns to our Janae Noel Ferguson.
Man, I'm a good supporter of that, a big supporter. I mean, like they say, we'll be the first island, and it's always good to try something new. I think it's a good idea, very good idea.
Ragged Islanders are in support of the government's plan to make it the first smart island in the region. But 9 months after Hurricane Irma left the island in ruins, residents say nothing has been done to realize that goal.
I mean, that's a good plan, but I see no action. Right now, me and my wife is calling NEMA for the past since the hurricane, and they say, man, they can't do nothing because the government saying Ragged Island uninhabited.
But they can make Ragged Island a green island. What island they talking about? Because it ain't Ragged Island 9 months later, and they ain't do nothing with the island yet. Nothing. So I cry shame of the government.
And the help is desperately needed. Alvin Monroe was one of the many residents who lost his home and business.
My whole house was blown away. So that leave me smack on the ground. So I rise and speed up and be there for the people.
Now, some 40 residents remain on Ragged Island, and while they say they may be able to manage repairs to their homes, they appeal to government to restore essential services.
They ain't do nothing with their building at all. They was supposed to be the first thing government come down here and do. The clinic, the office, the police station, and all of them. Or if they ain't no good, push them down back of the hill and go build something new.
We hear the government's talks about Green Island and Green City and all of these fancy promises, but I urge the government to bring normalcy to the island.
Janae Noel Ferguson, Eyewitness News.
Well, still to come, one local charity is helping to feed the hungry. This as the world observes World Hunger Day. And later, a new Miss World Bahamas is crowned. Find out who. But first, we've got a check on tonight's weather forecast.
Together, we laugh more, we discover more, we dream more. Together, we connect more, we cheer more. Grab life by the bundle and fuel your passion for your favorite things. Enhance your entertainment experience with Flow Evo, internet and home phone in one simple package. The hotter the bundle, the more you get. Grab life by the bundle with BTC.
Beat the heat with Cash and Go to win amazing prizes from May 7th to August 3rd. Make a transaction valued at $50 or more at any Cash and Go location throughout the Bahamas to enter. And it's so easy. If you conduct any one-of or combine Cash and Go services, a BAF financial premium payment, a MoneyGram transfer, a RIA money transfer, a utility payment for either BPL, BTC, Cable Bahamas, Water and Sewage, Grand Bahama Power and Grand Bahama Utility, or a ticket purchase for Sky Bahamas, Western Air, or Bahamas Air. So go ahead and spend $50 or more for an entry form to win big this summer with Cash and Go. The grand prize for the month of May is 2-day passes at Atlantis Resort, or you can win an air conditioning unit in June, and for July, it's $10,000 cash. Visit cashandgobahamas.com or like the Cash and Go Facebook page for more details.
Are you coughing, sneezing, having headaches, respiratory issues, allergies, or itchy skin? Toxic mold may be the problem. Clear Solutions Plus can help. certified best in the Bahamas, specializing in mold removal, water damage restoration, AC duct cleaning, and more. Call Clear Solutions Plus to schedule an inspection for your home or office at 677-3138 or 427-3138. Open 7 days at the Mount Royal Plaza. Facebook at Clear Solutions Plus Certified Mold Removal, or visit our website. We are your solution to indoor air pollution.
All right, there goes your live look of Goodman's Bay, where the temperature is right around 80 degrees with an expected low tonight of about 78. This is Eyewitness News. Welcome back. One day after a Haitian sloop landed within miles of the Coral Harbor Defense Force base, officials took the media to the landing spot in an attempt to quell concerns on how the illegals managed to land undetected. Francesca Brown has the details tonight.
Despite 3 Haitian sloops landing within miles of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force's Coral Harbor base in recent months, Lieutenant Commander Carlin Bethel says it's unfair to criticize Defense Force officers without all the information. He says there are many factors, including bad weather and rough seas, that determine if and where illegals make it to shore.
Criticism will be criticism. At the end of the day, this is a constant battle. And what I would encourage payments to remember is we're constantly out there. We're not just doing this the one time that a Haitian boat lands. We're constantly doing this. We're constantly deterring. We're constantly intercepting outside of the times when the enemy wins. And sometimes it happens. Sometimes the enemy will win. But at the end of the day, we're not in a one-time battle. This is a continual work that we have to do.
Defense Force officials say human smuggling is big business, and more often than not, Haitian migrants are assisted by persons on land who steer them to shore and facilitate their escape. It's because of this, officials say some days they win, but some days they also lose.
Haitian migrants come in on an ongoing basis, and for the past week or so, we are out working on intel. But it's very difficult to track down. And if you are aware of the weather conditions for the past couple of days over the Providence, it was extremely poor.
While we headed back to shore, officials got a call that a Haitian sloop was spotted near the Exuma Keys. Well, if that turns out to be true, it would be the second vessel spotted in Bahamian waters in just days. On Sunday, immigration officials apprehended 28 Haitian migrants after they were spotted near Venice Bay. Francesca Brown, Eyewitness News.
It's being touted the answer to many complaints by road users nationwide. With existing roads impacted by rainy weather, which helps produce potholes, a local company says it has found a product that will bring relief to motorists while at the same time offering exclusivity in the market throughout the region. Clint Watson explains.
Bahamas Striping Group of companies have embarked on what's been described as a revolutionary product to deal with the troubling potholes on various family islands and even here in New Providence. Managing Director Alan Aubrey says the coal patch is a quick and easy fix to an age-old problem the Bahamas faces.
Basically, this is asphalt in a bag. And why is this so important in the Bahamas is because we are an archipelagic nation, and of course, in the various family islands, there are no hot mixed plants. And so for the maintenance and the upkeep of the road, whether it is trench reinstatements by the various utility companies, water and sewage, BTC, etc., this is an ideal product. We ship it out in 50-pound bags. It can go out by the pallet to the various islands. And basically, it is just placed in the potholes or in the trenches, lightly compacted, and it automatically displaces the water. If it's water in the settling from rain or flooding, it displaces that water and it completely bonds to the roads.
And in fact, this product is becoming so popular, people are walking in off the street and grabbing about 2 or 3 bags just simply to patch their own potholes because of the success of this product.
It is the only environmentally friendly product like it on the market.
But it's more than just retail for the company. They've got their eyes set on much bigger plans, manufacturing the product in West Grand Bahama, and already talks have begun with government.
We're looking at, during the peak phase of the construction, probably about 60 construction jobs, and we're looking at about 35 full-time jobs coming to Grand Bahama, and that's the direct jobs. And then, of course, part of this product is using aggregate, and Grand Bahama provides significant amount of aggregate, and so the providers that are producing the quality of aggregate that we require, which is the base of the product, that will be supplied by the local companies there that are in that particular market sector.
And Bahama Striping Group of companies are the only persons licensed to distribute this product throughout the entire Caribbean. Clint Watson, Eyewitness News.
All right, well, today is World Hunger Day. Many persons around the world stop to recognize the plight of food deprivation within their communities, but it's an everyday fight for the team at Hands for Hunger here at home. The local food rescue organization partners with local food donors to collect fresh surplus food daily. It delivers those goods to donor agencies who then feed the hungry among us. Today, they launched a very intense or interesting challenge, that is. One of our team members who volunteers with the organization, Theo Seeley, has joined the challenge. He brings you the details in this report.
Statistics suggest that 43,000 Bahamians live below the poverty line, surviving on less than $4 daily. So in recognition of World Hunger Day, Hands for Hunger launched its Dine on the Line challenge, which invites Bahamians to dine on a budget of $4 daily until March 31st. Hands for Hunger Multimedia Manager Paige Hanna.
It's really just a campaign where we want people to build empathy for persons who are dining below the poverty line. And this isn't even just people on the line or above it. This is just below it.
And as you may imagine, trying to squeeze breakfast, lunch, and dinner into $4 daily is no easy task. Hands for Hunger Executive Director Zelika Knowles.
It's very tough, but it's also very eye-opening to see what the reality is that people face, the kind of foods that you can actually afford on that very tight budget. And the fact that it doesn't include a lot of fruits and vegetables is always very striking. So yeah, I think it's an important initiative.
There are 150 people currently registered for this year's challenge, but even if you haven't registered, the organization still invites you to participate and share your experiences online.
Use the hashtag Dine on the Line. We want you to share your experience. We want this to be a conversation piece where we're just talking about it. We don't want to pretend to be, actually living this reality, because after Thursday, when the challenge ends, people are still living this way. So we want to be able to build the conversation around it.
This is day one of the Dine on the Line challenge here at Eyewitness News. This was breakfast, and this was lunch. $2 spent and $2 remaining for dinner. How often do you think about this serious plight that thousands of Bahamians face on a daily basis? Theo Seeley, Eyewitness News.
All right, well, Brittany Gibson was crowned Miss World Bahamas 2018 last night, beating out 9 other beauties for the coveted title. This year's pageant saw a new interactive element that allowed the general public to help select the new queen. In the end, it came down to the Miss University of the Bahamas, Miss Grand Bahama, and the now reigning queen who represented New Providence. In her first appearance as Miss World Bahamas, the newly crowned beauty queen told the media that her work has just now begun.
To definitely bring home the crown, and I know that as Bahamians, that is something that we've been hoping to do for quite some time, and I think that with the additional training from the Miss Bahamas organization, I definitely can be the one to hopefully bring us a title.
Now, the Miss Bahamas organization is affording the new queen top-notch coaching, as the services of pageant coach extraordinaire Grace Fontesha have been secured to help prepare the queen for Miss World in Shanghai, China. Fontesha has coached 4 Miss Universe and 6 Miss World winners over the years. MBO President Michelle Malcolm explains why the organization decided to host the pageant a few weeks earlier this year.
The reasons why we decided to have the pageant earlier is because both of our last 2 queens, both Gina and Ashley, when they came back from Miss World, said, you really need to consider having the pageant earlier to give us more time to prepare. And so we listened, and that's why we decided to have the pageant earlier this year, to give her more time to concentrate on her beauty and the purpose and to prepare for the pageant, so we do get Grace her 7th title and the Bahamas' first.
All right, well, coming up in tonight's BTC Connection, it's World Hunger Day, and the company is partnering with one local charity. Find out more coming up. And later in sports, Randy Smith is off the top with the latest. Randy? Kendino, one of the country's premier boxers, will be competing this weekend. Find out more in Eyewitness News Sports.
Can you break the bank? If you thought Crack the Code was crazy, Ultra Games has just upped the ante with Break the Bank. And if you guess the correct combination for the bank and break it, you can win up to $500,000. That's right, up to $500,000 can be yours. The game is simple. Earn 25 reward points in a day or play $25 on a ticket and earn a promo point or voucher code and take your shot at breaking the bank by entering a 7-digit number at level 1 using the digits 0 through 9. And if you break it, you can walk away with $500,000 in cold hard cash. If no one breaks the bank in 3 days, the first digit of the bank's combination is revealed, and the bank's vaults drop to $100,000 at level 2. And in another 3 days, if no one breaks the bank's combination, another digit is revealed, and it drops to $25,000 at level 3, and so on. For game rules and restrictions and how to play, log on to ultragames.com. Can you break the bank? $500,000 can be yours. Promotion ends May 30th. Ultra Games reminds you that it's only a game, so game responsibly.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Randy Smith, and welcome to Eyewitness News Sports. Leading off tonight, Bahamian boxer Lester Brown will leave tomorrow to prepare for his lightweight bout, which is set for June 1st in Atlantic City, New Jersey. This fight will be Brown's first under promoter Roy Jones Jr.
We watch one of his fights on YouTube. He's a good fighter. Well, the game plan is to walk him down and knock him out because, like I said, we watch him fight. We don't see where he's a threat to me at all. He don't have no power, no speed. He's just taller.
Also in boxing news, in Freeport, veteran boxer Sherman the Tank Williams delivered in front of the hometown crowd, knocking out Colombian Epifano Mendoza in the second round. Williams picked up his 40th win at home. Also on the card, Amron Sands defeated Jerry Big Daddy Butler by decision. It was Sands' 5th win as a pro. Also on the weekend, the Bahamas Football Association announced that Aaliyah Rodriguez and Jordan Wilson will be representing the country in the upcoming Football for Friendship program. The week-long event is scheduled for June 8th through 15th in Moscow, Russia. And at the upcoming CIC Swimming Championships in July, both Lily Higgs and Isaac Bastian will be moving up to the senior ranks of competition. Although they won't compete in the upcoming CC Can Championships, Bahamas Aquatic Federation President Algernon Cargill said he has high hopes for the duo.
Bad news to some of our Carifta multi-medalists like Isaac and Lily will not be competing in CC Can because they will be competing at the CAC Championships. Their performances are at the CAC level, and CAC is a higher meet than CC Can. So Isaac and Lily will be competing at CAC along with Peter Morley. They are some of our Carifta athletes who will be moving on to CAC instead of CC Can. On our national championships, we'll be able to see exactly where they stand in terms of being ready or the level they're at versus how they were at Carifta.
And that does it for us in sports, but stay tuned. Eyewitness News returns in a moment. I'm Randy Smith. Have a great evening.
Premium Porters proudly provides professional, courteous service and supplies quality products with reliable, free delivery to customers throughout the Bahamas. We are the most experienced building supplier in the country and represent a wide range of products. Premium Porters St. Albans Drive is the place to go find your roof, window, door, wall, ceiling, and floor materials. We repair windows, glass, and screens, and carry a full line of bath fixtures, hardware, and gardening tools. Visit our complete vanity showroom and select the styles that suit you. Premium Porters open Mondays through Fridays, 7 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Well, today is being observed as World Hunger Day, and here at home, one local charity has teamed up with BTC to help feed hundreds. We get more in this edition of BTC Connection.
Every island and every key. Keep in touch with everybody. It's BTC every day. Every day, every day, every day.
Nearly a year ago, BTC made a 2-year pledge to assist the Great Commission's ministries with its feeding program. That program has extended its reach to countless of Bahamians who come here on a daily basis to be fed. And today, they are here as a part of the grocery distribution program.
We have persons coming in and we have persons who we deliver to.
we're excited for BTC assisting us monthly with funds, assisting us now with the distribution of groceries. This is such a big help.
The word says better to give than to receive, and I want to be a part of that. Put a smile on somebody's face, because when we show up here, it's like goal just reached, their Christmas just arrived, and these persons' lives. So just to see the smile on their face, and they receive it so well, like they don't even want you to go, because they're excited that someone's showing care. And from BTC every day, always put a smile on somebody's face.
We're seeing some saying that they didn't have anything at home, so this came in handy. So we want to say thank you to BTC. This is BTC country. We are grateful, very, very grateful.
For several years now, right in this modest kitchen, Great Commission Ministries has prepared hundreds of meals per day. They understand that no one should go hungry. BTC also understands this, and that's why we've made sure to become a part of this great effort. And we'll see you next BTC Connection.
Every island and every key. Keep in touch with everybody. It's BTC every day. Every day, every day, every day.
All right, well, coming up and beyond the headlines with Clint Watson. As the world pauses to observe World Hunger Day, he has a candid discussion about hunger here at home. You may be surprised at how many Bahamians go without eating because they simply cannot afford it. Clint Watson and his panel have a candid discussion about this issue. That's coming up and beyond the headlines. It starts right after this. That does it for us in Eyewitness News. It's been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Candino Knowles saying good night.
Coming up tonight, the statistics are startling. Bahamians are going to bed hungry every night. In fact, a significant portion of our society can't even afford to feed themselves and their families. How are they eating? Why are people in our country still going to bed without meals? Despite this dilemma, though, in comes local feeding organizations hoping to make a difference. It's a bigger global mandate and commission to feed the hungry. It's World Hungry Day, and tonight we have perhaps the most candid discussion about feeding the hungry in the Bahamas that you've ever heard. The status quo has changed. Beyond the Headlines starts now.
One in every 7 Bahamians cannot afford to feed themselves. It's a dilemma that's rapidly becoming a major issue. Good evening, everyone. I'm Clint Watson, and welcome to the show. The information that's been documented reveal that more than 43,000 Bahamians live below the poverty line. But Hands for Hunger statistics show that number could be as high as 70,000. What's being done about this? How are so many Bahamians not able to ensure they have a hot meal every day? But wait, the concern goes even deeper as people who we consider everyday normal working people are part of these statistics and can't even feed their families despite having jobs. Many of these homes go to bed hungry. It's a real issue for us on this World Hunger Day. Theo Seeley takes a closer look.
Every day, Hands for Hunger partners with various local food donors. They collect fresh surplus food to deliver to feeding agencies who cater to the hungry among us. Whether you realize it or not, food deprivation is a real issue that thousands of Bahamians face every day. They are often a forgotten part of our society, but their plight is very real. Now into its 10th year of operation, Hands for Hunger Executive Director Zelika Knowles confirmed that the organization delivers to 18 community agencies and, to date, has collected over 1 million pounds of food.
To take on and to really understand that there's a lot of people facing this challenge of living on the poverty line and having very little to spend on food.
$3.82 to be exact. According to statistics, 43,000 Bahamians fall below the poverty line. But Hands for Hunger Strategic Initiatives Manager Keisha Ellis suggests that numbers are higher than that.
Poverty line, right? So what we've discovered, though, in our research is that the actual people who are facing food insecurity is a much higher number. And we're thinking that that might be closer to 70,000 people who, kind of struggle daily to find the next meal.
And believe it or not, there are many who suffer among us in silence.
The face of hunger is changing in the Bahamas. We all think we kind of understand what a hungry person looks like, but we're learning is that challenges are being fought on all levels of society. And there are people who wake up and go to work every day, in a nice car or in, well-dressed, but in the reality, they're facing some real issues with hunger at home.
And it's behind these closed doors that Bahamians who live below the poverty line are forced to spend a meager $4 a day on meals. Government statistics indicate that 1 in every 7 persons live at or below the poverty line. And for those who are fortunate enough to have 3 meals per day, it's a harsh reality that they will never understand.
What we want to do with, our awareness campaigns is show that, look, we need to build empathy among people, because what we find is that although the Department of Social Services have a free lunch program for students, a lot of them don't want to take advantage of it because, of the stigma attached to needing help and needing food. So, yeah, if you just feel angry and upset and unmotivated after missing lunch, imagine if you've missed lunch every day this week and know that you probably have to miss it tomorrow as well.
So that's where Hands for Hunger comes into the picture, and their donor agencies like Atlantis are so important to the process. The resort has been a major partner for many years now, and chefs Roland Joseph and Anthony Bryce say they are committed to the cause.
And I love to help the people, especially the Hands for Hunger. We try to keep all the food for after the function for Hands for Hunger. I really appreciate that to do that because I love to help those who don't have no food.
It me feel good inside because people can't help themselves. I'd rather help them out.
And Dale Moss, who pastors the Church of God of Prophecy Camp Road, says he's grateful to be a recipient agency.
This became a very wonderful opportunity to actually feed the kids a hot meal on a regular basis. Some of the kids, we believe, were coming back to the program not just for our help in the program, but to get a meal. And so we just are so grateful that Hands for Hunger came along and it became a program that could help from that vantage point.
Hands for Hunger welcomes with open arms any donor agencies or persons who want to assist with fighting food deprivation here at home.
It is very vital that those who can help assist in some way with making it possible for those who do not have to have.
Our Theo Seeley reporting there tonight. Well, please welcome our guests tonight, Executive Director of Hands for Hunger, Zelika Knowles, and founder of Great Commissions Ministries, Bishop Walter Henschel. Both of you, thank you. Welcome for joining me on the show. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you for having us.
We've not had a candid discussion. We've talked about poverty and food and people in need many times, but I think it's so many times at surface level, not dealing with the problem. When I heard the statistics today and heard that it could be up to 70,000 Bahamians who go hungry or can't afford to provide meals, I'm startled by that because we're a population of just over 400,000+ people. 70,000 is that's a lot. What do you mean by that when you say 70,000 people? When you talk about can't feed themselves, explain that for us.
Yeah, I mean, we're startled by it too, right? So according to the Department of Statistics, 43,000 Bahamians live on the poverty line. And that number is from 2010. So wow. Department of Statistics figures from 2010. And what we're seeing and the anecdotal evidence that we're receiving is that a lot of people are having a hard time making ends meet. There was actually recently a study that was released by the Central Bank in collaboration with Public Domain where they said 50% of Bahamians are having a hard time making ends meet and living according to their means. So we know that this is a very serious problem and that the numbers are actually much higher than the ones that were initially reported.
Bishop Henschel, when you hear that, is that something you agree with, that there's a lot more Bahamians than we probably have documented that are having a hard time feeding themselves?
Yes. When the official survey was done in 2010, I indicated to the officials that that figure was not correct. Even back then, it was much higher in 2010. And when you look at how they measure the poverty level, I think it's something like $80-something a week. Anybody making less than $80-something a week, they would be considered to be below the poverty level. And of course, we know that $80 cannot feed cannot
You can't buy
feed,
anything with
clothe.
$80.
It can't help anybody.
Let's face it. You can't buy a meal. When we talk about the kind of people who we're seeing every day who are having a hard time, are these the typical people we see on the streets who say, okay, they're homeless ones who can't feed themselves? Or are these people you probably won't look at and don't even know they're the ones struggling?
I think that's the hardest part about hunger is that it really, you can't see it. You don't know who it is that's hungry. And a lot of it is behind closed doors. I think we're very proud people. And so it's very hard to detect. But we're noticing that we're getting a lot more phone calls from people who are employed, who have 1 and 2 jobs, who just can't, like I said,
1 and
make
2
ends
jobs.
meet. Yes. 1 and 2 jobs, multiple children, just trying to survive between, their regular bills, school fees, et cetera. And food is the one thing that I think people have the hardest time accessing.
Bishop?
Between the high level of unemployment, and of course we have another population of persons that are working, but they're the working poor. They are underemployed, and people just don't have it. And then, of course, the cost of living has increased rapidly over the last 6-7 years. If you go in the food store to buy food, you just don't have enough money to pay for it. You go on the line, you see so many persons with their small basket putting things back, just trying to decide, what they could afford to take. And the country is in bad shape. Let's be real. The country is in bad shape. People are suffering like never before. This is the worst it has ever been for the average person. I'm not just speaking about the people on the streets. I'm talking about the normal people. They just don't. They don't have any money. They don't travel like they used to. They don't have funds to buy the things that they used to be able to afford. Things has changed, and we pray that somehow this economy could turn around. As we all know, the economy has not grown to any level.
My thing is, you go into the food store with $100. You would normally have a trolley full.
Yep.
If only canned goods. You go into the food store with $100 and you can't even get a basket full of grocery. Matter of fact, you may only get enough to buy enough for one meal if you're going to cook. $100 is gone. It's just gone. How do people make it with 2 and 3 and 4 children? I have a daughter, a young daughter, and just buying healthy food for her, just so that she doesn't stay away from all the chips and the garbage and all that stuff. Healthy food, and I spend $100 just in the fruits and vegetables section, and that even meals. That's just snacks, fruits and vegetables. How do we reverse this? Because I keep saying, who do we turn to? Government I don't think have the answer. I mean, perhaps maybe we need to find a way of having food cheaper. What do you think is the solution?
We need social problems. We need social programs that could impact the inner city and that would spill over into the middle income neighborhoods.
But don't we have these food assistance programs? Doesn't social services give you food assistance? Do they have the nice cards they boast about that you can get your grocery every month? Don't they have these things?
They're doing a good job, but they're not doing enough. We have, the load is too heavy. They need to actually, to be quite frank, the budget for social services need to be tripled or quadrupled. That's how bad it is.
What does it take? We're looking at video of Great Commission's ministry where you prepare these meals daily. This ain't no once a week, if I'm correct.
Every day.
Every day. What does it take to prepare? How many meals do you serve a day, first of all?
Some days around 300, some days 400. It depends.
You serve all of those?
Oh yes, every day.
That must be costly to give these kind of hot meals. Because I see here peas and rice, chicken. You give a solid hot meal.
Yeah, but it's not just, at Great Commission, it's not just feeding. We also do a lot of other things. We take care of people who have nowhere to live. I know this is World Foods Day, World Hunger Day, but the fact is, we do so many other things. But our feeding program, thanks to Hands for Hunger, who helps us quite a bit, but we spend a lot of money on meat, on food, on grocery every single day to take care of those persons.
And this is the part that I want to inject as well, is that, you mentioned fruits and vegetables and access to that costing quite a bit of money. And I think that's really what we're seeing, is that people do want to become a little bit more health conscious and want to eat, better food that's better for their bodies. And what we're seeing is that that's what's costing a lot of money, is that a lot of diets lack in fruits and vegetables.
I want to talk more about that when we come back. And of course, we're going to tackle more about how do we deal with these families that need help, even though they're working. How do we find a solution to at least eradicate or put a dent in hunger in the Bahamas? Talk more about that when we come back. Stay close.
Can you break the bank? If you thought Crack the Code was crazy, Ultra Games is just up the ante with Break the Bank. And if you guess the correct combination for the bank and break it, you can win up to $500,000. That's right, up to $500,000 can be yours. The game is simple. Earn 25 reward points in a day, or play $25 on a ticket and earn a promo point or voucher code, and take your shot at breaking the bank by entering a 7-digit number at level 1 using the digits 0 through 9. And if you break it, you can walk away with $500,000 in cold hard cash. If no one breaks the bank in 3 days, the first digit of the bank's combination is revealed, and the bank's vaults drop to $100,000 at level 2. And in another 3 days, if no one breaks the bank's combination, another digit is revealed, and it drops to $25,000 at level 3, and so on. For game rules and restrictions and how to play, log on to ultragames.com. Can you break the bank? $500,000 can be yours. Promotion ends May 30th. Ultra Games reminds you that it's only a game, so game responsibly.
Welcome back. We're having a Canada discussion about Bahamians and hunger in this country. Today is World Hunger Day, and it's a real issue here in the Bahamas. You may be sitting home now with your family, eating dinner and watching this, and there are a lot of people who perhaps don't have dinner tonight and won't have it tomorrow night, and perhaps didn't have lunch today. But you will not see them. They will go to work tomorrow, put on their wonderful clothing and dress it up as if things are fine, and it's difficult. We were talking about eating healthy. That's even taking it a step further because it's expensive to do so. But there are some ways that we can try and cut back so that we can eat healthy. You were telling me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think we need to have a balanced kind of view about what the government's doing as well. So I think we do need to acknowledge that BAMSI exists, the produce exchange exists, and there is this push for backyard farming. Now, how far off the ground it's gotten is worthy of a debate. But I think it's important that we go back to growing food and then also using that food that we grow. So there's a lot of eggplant that grows in the Bahamas. There's a lot of, different kinds of leafy greens, et cetera. And we need to incorporate that into the Bahamian diet and make sure that people are accessing healthy foods in an accessible way, right?
What is it?
Way.
Good point. What does it take to sustain programs like Great Commissions and Hands for Hunger? As far as getting you in order to be able to operate, you have to be able to get the food. What does it take to sustain it, and how much further can you go if you had more?
Yeah, well, I think the one thing that we're most proud of is that Hands for Hunger is celebrating our 10th year anniversary, and we're able to do so really because of the generosity of the community. So we're a nonprofit organization, and what that means is we're not only nonprofit, we're also non-governmental organization. So we rely on people's donations and contributions, and that's what keeps our trucks on the road 6 days a week.
Wow.
Delivering food, rescuing food from places like the Atlantis, which we saw earlier, and then delivering it to community agencies like the Great Commission, but also Salvation Army and the Red Cross and smaller places like LJ's Hilltop Ministries. And it really is just the community, people who make donations online and who stop by our office with checks and who attend our events. That's what keeps us operational. That's what helps us to feed these agencies.
Bishop Angel, I know it takes a lot. You've always been talking about the need for people to continuously bring this support so that you continuously help more people, because the need seems to be growing. You're not seeing it go down.
It is growing for a fact, and we're in the process of launching an initiative called Live to Give, where we're going to try to get more donors on board and make a greater impact in the community as far as feeding is concerned, and also attack some of the social problems that we are facing every day, because. As it relates to food, there's some folks who have literally one meal a day.
Wow.
When they come to us for food, that's they don't have any breakfast and they don't have any supper. Then we have children that go to bed hungry every night.
Why are children going to bed hungry in this country?
because they're at home. There's no food in the cupboard. The parents are not working, or the parents might be out there hustling, trying to make $1 to buy some food. Sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't. So the children suffer. So we need to remedy that situation.
How do we remedy this situation? I think it's a sad situation in our country when we have children going to bed hungry, and it should not be. I can't see in the Bahamas why people are hungry. We have food all the time. There's so much wastage in this country is food. Why are people going to bed hungry? How do we deal with this problem?
I think, according to the Department of Statistics, again, 43,000 Bahamians, right, in 2010 are under the poverty line. 50% of them are under the age of 14. 50% of them. And so we're expecting a lot of these students, right? These young people who are in schools who have a very low grade point average, we're expecting them to both be on their best behavior and also to perform.
But you can't function if you don't have nutrition.
So I think the one thing that we really do need to focus on is strengthening our school feeding program. And I think the Ministry of Education is really, trying to make this a priority. And I think it has to be. We have to be able to, with social services and education, prioritize school feeding. Make sure that we have breakfast and lunch in the schools provided for kids. Universally, you don't have to qualify. You don't have to be below a poverty line. It should be everybody in the public school system, should have access to at least 2 meals a day.
And you said it, Bishop Angel, and I reiterated the fact that social services budget should be tripled. Every year we cut back on these essential services, but we're doing our own people a disservice by cutting back. I know the government is busy, especially this week, trying to get ready to bring the budget. And so and a lot of people fear there will be even more cutbacks. But we're not solving the problem by trying to cut back to please the IMF or these international financial institutions when we're not helping our people. They're not getting what they need.
There should be nobody in the Bahamas who are not able to have a healthy meal. This is a rich country. Billions of dollars are right here, right now. We have all these offshore banks. We have all of these foreign businesses and mega businesses. I believe that when these heads of agreements are signed, that a portion, a percentage of if only 1%, should be allocated to go into social programs, in particular feeding. That is not being done. And also the youth programs, these need to be funded. The government can't do everything. We know that they don't have it.
Right.
So they need to find creative ways to attract and to get more money in the system to help organizations like Hands for Hunger, like Great Commission Ministries. We could do so much more if we had funding. We don't have proper funding.
Can we imagine with a budget coming out and the government saying they need to find additional revenue, higher taxes on food? How is that going to play? Is that going to affect poverty and hunger in this country if taxes are increased on food?
Well, so I met with somebody today, and they hinted to me that VAT may be increased. Let me tell the government right now, please, whatever you're going to do not touch that VAT. Don't increase it. Bahamians right now could hardly afford to pay the VAT. And I know that it's revenue for the government, but people, you go to the food store and your bill is $100, $7.50 out of that goes directly to the government. People can't afford it. It's too hard. People are trying to find ways just to trying to decide what they're going to buy. Should I buy food today? Should I pay my insurance? Should I buy my medicine? That's the struggle that people are facing right now. They just don't have it.
We're going to take a break. When we come out, we're going to wrap up and hear about an initiative Hands for Hunger is doing that you may want to be a part of. Stay close. You're watching Beyond the Headlines.
When safety matters, you need safety solutions. Protect your hands. Protect your feet.
You know what fella's good for the moolah.
Protect your eyes. Protect your workplace.
You know what fella's good for the moolah.
Safety solutions. Protecting what really matters.
You know what fella's good.
BTC is giving the gift of rollover data, plus free unlimited WhatsApp calls, texts, pictures, pictures, and videos. Choose from our 1-day plan for $3.49, 7-day plan for $9.99, or our 15-day plan for only $29.99. We've even thrown in unlimited BTC to BTC calls and texts. Dial *203# to activate your plan today. Share every moment with BTC. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. Today is World Hunger Day. We've been talking to food and feeding organizations about it today here in the Bahamas, that hunger really exists. And there are so many Bahamians who tonight don't have a meal to eat because they go hungry and they look as if everything is right. They dress up in suits and wear good clothing, have good jobs, but they just simply can't feed themselves or their families. We're talking to Hands for Hunger and Great Commissions Ministry. You're doing an initiative this month going on. Tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. So for World Hunger Day, this is going to be our 3rd year in a row, we're launching a Dine on the Line campaign. So there are 3 components to it. The first is this Dine on the Line campaign where we're challenging the public to eat on $4 a day for 4 days, which is the poverty line. That's how much people who are living on the poverty line have to put towards food every day.
Wow.
So today was day 1 of the Dine on the Line challenge, and we're asking people to use the hashtag and document the process online, just so that we could talk about it. And share the experience and also empathize with people who are really struggling.
And that's a serious thing. I know Theo is one of the people participating, and he had 2 noodles today, 2 cups of noodles. Mm-hmm. And I said, Theo, that thing's full of sodium.
Right.
It's full of salt.
Can afford.
And it's you just putting dumping salt in your body, but it's what people can afford.
It is.
Afford. At the end of the week, you'll have high blood pressure if you don't stop eating all those noodles.
That's right.
Bishop, what is the next way forward for us? In your final thoughts, your final comments tonight regarding hunger?
Well, first of all, we need to become self-sufficient in terms of feeding ourselves as a nation. The government has tried, and I believe one day it will happen, but we still have a very long way to go. And also we need to, of course, promote, as the Ministry of Health has started, healthy living and healthy breadbasket items. But we must find a way to reduce the cost of food in the Bahamas. It's a nightmare to go in the supermarket for any family. And I don't know what could be done. I know the government needs revenue, but they have to find a way that people can afford to eat healthy, because it's causing so many other problems, health problems, and the hospital is full. You can't find a bed in the hospital because of the diet, what we eat every day.
People eating what they could afford, and what they could afford ain't necessarily the healthiest thing.
No.
Yeah. I'm really glad that you talked about the bread basket. So on Thursday, we're actually having an open discussion, open to the public, at the University of the Bahamas, where the topic is feeding the future, but also from the bread basket to Sunday dinner. And we have numerous speakers who are coming to talk about the future of food in the Bahamas and food security and what the bread basket should look like.
Thank you both for joining me on the show tonight, and we applaud your efforts and what you're doing to keep our country and try and help people who are hungry. Thank you. And of course, if you need any assistance, we invite you to reach out to any of these organizations and get help, particularly if you have children and you don't have a meal to give them tonight. There are too many people who can help you find some help, and that's what we're here for as a nation, to ensure that we take care of each other. That's our corporate responsibility to human beings as well, to look out for each other. That's our show tonight. Well, coming up on the show tomorrow night, we are a little over 1 day away from the new budget communication of Parliament. Will it be historic? Will we see more of the same? Could VAT and other taxes go up to help keep the Bahamas afloat? Well, tomorrow we discuss what the 2018-2019 budget could look like. It's a first in a 2-part series. We have some important guests here. And of course, they're crossing the political divides. You want to be here for that show tomorrow night. That's our show tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. We see you right back here tomorrow. Good night, everybody.